Hey everybody. Today what I'd like to do is answer some questions. I've had a few people that are learning how to play guitar and they're ready to start looking for some songs to play, whether it's chords, whether it's some single note things and stuff like that. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of time and explain to you a website called Ultimate Guitar and how you can use that to find songs that you might want to play, how to simplify things in your life a little bit when you find these songs if you're having struggles. And ultimately, then, we're going to end with how to read what we call tablature. So the first thing we're going to do here is I've got a website set up, or a screencast, excuse me, of some stuff here. So what we're going to do is we're going to head over and we're going to look at this website. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to be going to a page called ultimateguitar.com. It's ultimate-guitar.com. If you just do a web search for Ultimate Guitar, you will find it. Okay? So what we're going to do here is we're just going to go to the main page of Ultimate Guitar here. And up here, what I want you to see is there's all these different things. You can go in and look for lessons and reviews and all kinds of stuff. But what we want to do is click on tabs. Okay, now let's say we want to look up a song. Now this website has lots of different songs available that people around the world have uploaded their ideas on how to play these songs. So let's say we wanted to do something like, let's say Can't You See by Marshall Tucker. So I type in Can't You See, I'm doing this with one hand here. So I type in Can't You See. So it goes, and here we go. Now I want the one from Marshall Tucker. You'll notice there's all kinds of different ones here available as well from different artists that have the same words. Okay, you see all that? But I want this one, Marshall Tucker. So what you do is you'll see that there's all these different versions of Can't You See right here. Okay, see all those? There's all this right here. So what we do is we want to choose one of these, but we're going to look over here on the far right and decide on which one we want. Okay, now you're going to see that some of these say tab, some of these say chords, and then some of these say Guitar Pro, Power, Bass, and Ukulele. See all that? Okay. What we want to do, if you're looking to just strum along with this song and have some fun, we want to look for one of the ones that say Chord. Okay? Now, Tab Pro and Chord Pro up here, these are specific to Ultimate Guitar. You can pay a certain amount of money, and you can get a little bit nicer looking chart, which we haven't looked at yet, but we will. Down here, the one you want to start with is just chords, and I'll show you that. And then Tab if you want to do what we're going to talk about a little bit later. So we're going to come back to all of this, and I'm going to explain this to you. But let's just look at this. So Can't You See? There's this one, and then there's this one. Version 2 and 3 here. Here's the 3 chords. Now, what I want you to look at here is this part right here. You see the stars, and then over here the number? The stars mean that other people have rated this tablature, this chord chart, and as being very good because it has 5 stars out of 5 stars. This one has 4.5 stars. This one looks like it has pretty much 4.5 stars as well. But if you look down here, you'll see this one has 4 stars. Let's look down a little bit here. So all these other ones we don't want anyway, but you'll see they're all rated pretty good. But if we come up here and look at this top one, it means 691 people have rated this as 5 stars. 30 people have rated this as 4.5. So the point is that you just choose whichever one has the most stars with the most ratings, and it's probably going to be the most accurate. Because remember, these chord charts and tabs and all these things that you're looking at on this website are uploaded by people like you and I around the world that have figured out how to play these songs. So I'm going to click on Can't You See here, this first one, and this is what pops up. Says there is no strumming pattern for this song yet. Okay, you can, and again, sometimes the songs will have actual little strumming patterns written on there. But we look here and it says intro, and then it says D, C, G, and D. Now, if I put my mouse over the D, you'll see a little chord picture pops up. C, G, right? See that? So you can use those chord pictures to help you in learning how to play these chords if you need the help. Now, if you play your C a little differently or you play your G a little bit differently, you're playing these as bar chords or your G chord is a 4-finger G or an easy G or something, don't sweat it. Again, the most important thing here is that you're playing guitar, you're practicing guitar, and you're finding things out there to play along with, to have fun, to encourage you to continue to practice, right? I don't want you to look at this can't you see chord chart here and go, well, this C chord is the only way I can play it because that's what this person wrote on this piece of sheet music. That's not true at all. Play it the way that you are learning it, the chords and all those sorts of things. So again, you're having fun. It's motivating you. It's not distracting you and taking you away from, playing along with music. So if we look, the intro, it says it goes D, C, G, D. Now, what you don't see are, measure lines or, all those sorts of things. It doesn't have all that. You're just going to kind of use this as a guide to know how this song goes. So D is played right here. I'm going to take a freight train. C, down at the station. G, I don't care where it goes. And then over G here, or over goes, it's got a D chord. So whoever wrote this tries as best they can to put the chord over where the changes go. Now, the advice I always give to people is when you're going to play along with a song, the first thing to do is to really get to know the song. Okay? Really get to know the song. Don't just grab this sheet music and try and play a song that you've never played before, because even if you kind of succeed at it, you're missing out on the fun. The point is to choose a song that you like. I love this song. And enjoy listening to the song. And as you look at this chord chart here, you now know that it's got a D, a C, and a G chord in it. And you're kind of listening to the song and you're looking at the chart and you're making the chart make sense with what you're hearing in the music, not just singing along with the song, but actually kind of hearing those chord changes in the background. Now, the nice thing about this particular song is it's just D, C, G, D for the entire song. It never changes, which is why I wanted to show you this. Now, again, there's a million songs you could look at, but that's what you can do. Okay? So this is a really great website let me go back to the main page, to just look up songs and then find where it says chords on the other side. Now, we're going to go back and do that again. I got to do this one-handed again, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to go back and do that again. So here's all these different versions. Okay, so chords, tab. Now, if you're just learning chords, always go with just chords. But let me show you something. If I go up and click on Chord Pro isn't available. It's not there. Tab Pro. Oh, sorry. That's because I'm clicking in the wrong place. If I come over here, sorry about that. I'm going to click on this. And what I want you to see is, you got to pay for this. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't or whatever. I'm just saying the Chord Pro is something you have to pay for. Tab Pro, same thing. If you click on Tab Pro, again, you got to pay for it. My nickname is Cat House because we have lots of cats in our house. So, so you don't need that. I mean, if you want to pay the money, that's fine, but you don't need to. You can just use these. Okay? So Guitar Pro, Power, all these other ones these are ones where you need software. Guitar Pro is a kind of software, and it's a wonderful software, but you have to pay for it. Power Tab is another kind of software. It used to be super popular. You don't see it quite as much anymore. And bass we're not playing, unless you are playing bass. Ukulele, same thing. So you're focusing on chords. Now let's say you wanted to play a song like, let's say, Satisfaction. Now, Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones is not so much chords. If you think about the beginning of the song, how it goes, it's single notes, okay? It's a great song to learn how to play if you're, just learning how to do this stuff because it's really straightforward. But it's playing single notes. Well, chords doesn't do us any good because we can't learn how to play that. So what we need to do is learn how to read what's called tablature. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come over here, and I want to show you this. Okay, so now we're back to the screen here. How to read guitar tabs. Now, basically, to summarize this, standard notation, be every good boy does fine sort of thing, okay, is 5 lines, okay? When you read tablature is a lot easier to read, and you can get right to the songs that you like right away, because you don't have to learn how to read notes and all that sort of thing. And I'm not saying that it isn't beneficial to do that stuff. That's a whole other topic of conversation. I'm just saying if you want to learn how to play Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones, you don't want to wait 3 years to learn how to do it because you have to go to school for theory or take piano lessons. You just want to play. Okay? Now, again, I'm not dogging theory. I love all that sort of thing, but I'm saying for you to stay inspired and have fun with playing guitar, learning how to read notation, or excuse me, tablature, is a really fun and easy thing to do. So, tablature has 6 lines, okay? Right here you can see there are 6 lines, okay? The lowest line here is your 6th or thickest string. The top line is your thinnest string. So if you think about it, it's kind of upside down for a lot of people when they try and read this. What I think about is this. When I look down, the first string I see is the 6th string. That's the one that's lowest on that chart. Okay? You can also think of it this way. Your guitar is sitting like this. So the lowest note is down here, or the lowest string, excuse me, and the highest string is up here. So when you're looking at that chart, the lowest line is your thickest string. The highest line is your thinnest string. You read from left to right. So let's look at the next little thing here. Okay, right here. So we're seeing a number 3 here. That number 3 means on the 5th string, which is this string, on the 5th string, we're going to play this 3, which is the 3rd fret. We're going to play that note. Okay? So that chart right there is telling us to play the 3rd fret of the 5th string. It's not telling us what finger to use. It's not telling us how long the note is. It's just telling us to play that note, the 3rd fret of the 5th string, which is a C, and it doesn't matter, but that's what it is. It's telling us to play that 1 time. So let's go back to that chart here, okay? So it's telling us to play that 3 1 time. Now, if we look at this one here, we notice all kinds of notes. So this is telling us to play on the 4th string, play the 5th fret, and then play the 7th fret. Then it says to go to the 3rd string and play the 5th fret and the 7th fret. Then it says to go to the 2nd string and play 5th fret, 6th fret, and 8th fret. So if I was to play that for you, it says to play 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 8. Or 5, 6, 8, excuse me, I'm sorry, 5, 6, 8. It's not telling us how long each note is. It's not telling us how many measures there are. It's not telling us what fingers to use. The numbers do not refer to fingers. They refer to the fret that you're going to play. So those are things that take a little while to get used to. But again, when we go back to satisfaction, we're going to look at that in a second, you're using your ear. Again, you're listening to the song, getting to know the song, and then you're looking at the sheet music, the tablature, the chart, and you're making the equation of what you're seeing with what you're hearing. That's what you want to learn to do with tablature. Let's go back here to the screen here. So now on this one right here, you see it has a 0 on the 2nd string. Well, 0 is playing the string open. So again, it's telling you in that picture to play the 0 fret of the 2nd string, and it's only telling you to play it once. I was picking it multiple times to show you, but you only play it once. Now let's move down to this one right here. Now you've got all these together. They're all stacked up. Well, that means to play it as a chord. So you're playing all these notes at the same time. So that particular thing is saying to play the 5th fret of the 5th string, the 4th fret of the 4th string, the 6th fret of the 3rd string, and the 5th fret of the 2nd string. Now, this might be a different chord than you're used to playing, but that's what it shows you to play. So the really cool thing is that you can also learn to read chords with tab. Okay? So you got to remember your 6th string down here is your thickest string. This line down here is your thickest string. This is your thinnest string. You read from left to right, and the numbers are always referring to the fret that you're going to play, not the fingers. If they're stacked on top of each other, it means you're playing a chord. Okay? So now let's come over here again to satisfaction. And again, now I'm not looking for chords. I'm looking for tab. So I go down here to looks like version 2 has 50, version 3 has 61. So, these are pretty close. So I'm going to click on version 2 here just to see what we've got. All right. So it says 2, 2, 2, 4, 5. Let's just do that much right there. Okay, that's on the A string or the 5th string. Remember, thickest string down here, thinnest string up here. So 2, 2, 2, 4, 5. So if I play 2, 2, 2, 4, 5, and again, you should be able to hear the beginnings of Satisfaction. Now, it's not telling us what fingers to use. That's a whole nother topic of conversation. You might use different fingers. You might just use one finger. The more you learn to use all of your fingers, obviously, the more beneficial it becomes later on. But right now, we're just learning how to read, and we're just trying to have some fun here. So 2, 2, 2, 4, 5. And then this next part gets a little more complex. It says 5 again, and then 5 with a P in the middle to a 4, and then 4 with a P in the middle to the 2. Okay? Well, again, I don't want to get too far out there, but the P means pull off, which is a technique that we can learn to do where we kind of flick the string to get a different sound. So I'm just going to play you this. Don't worry so much about that, but it sounds like this. Then it goes. So it says to play the 5 twice and then do a pull off to the 4, and then it says to play the 4 and do a pull off to the 2. So it goes. So we have. See? Now again, everything takes time. Everything takes practice depending on where you are at in your guitar journey, right? But the fundamental of learning how to read a chord chart or a tab chart is pretty straightforward depending on the song that you choose. Now, again, you might love all kinds of different songs, and I'm sure you do. You might go to that chart and go, wow, that looks a little bit crazy. And if it seems like it might be out of your current wheelhouse of practice and where you are in your journey, you might want to hold off on it for a little while and find something else that is maybe more compatible with the chords that you know or the abilities that you have or whatever. If you choose a song that's usually pretty medium tempo and, whatever it might be, you kind of know that you're going into a song that might be, functional. In this case, I chose Satisfaction because it kind of does the same thing through the whole song, for the most part. Just the same riff over and over and over. There are a couple other different things, but it does it a lot. So it's a good song to look at. It's kind of like if you played Day Tripper or something like that, or Pretty Woman, or just things that tend to have a kind of a constant idea all the way through. It's single note, but it's not all over the place. Where if you try and learn, a Rush song or a Dream Theater song or something like that, you already know going in it's going to have a lot more stuff. It's going to be a lot more complicating, and that's great if you're ready. But if you're not, you don't just want to, get really frustrated right away. You want to find things that are good to play. So again, this website is called ultimate-guitar.com, and it's really worth looking at. Now, I think I don't even know how much I pay a month to avoid ads. So I don't know if it's $5 a month. I don't even know what it is because I've been a part of it for so long. But I'm pretty sure that you can pay a little bit of money and then it gets the ads out of the way if you get frustrated with those. If you don't mind it, it's not a big deal. There are other sites out there as well. I use a site called Songster, which is Songsterr. But Songster, again, you have to pay, a monthly subscription fee to view the tabs on it. It's not chords, I don't think. Maybe there's chords on there. I always use it for tab stuff, and it's really good. But again, it costs money. If you don't want to spend any money, Ultimate Guitar works just fine. I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying there are other options out there. Ultimate Guitar is also available on your mobile device, whether you have Android or iPhone or iPad or some sort of tablet. You can get the app for these and you can look up stuff like that too. So again, I apologize if this took a little while, but hopefully it explains to you how to look up chord charts. It explains to you how to, read tablature, how to look up tab. The last thing I want to address is this. when you go to look up a chord, for instance, a chord chart, or you're looking up tab, always try and remember to start with your ear. Start with what you hear, then apply what you see. Because sometimes you'll be looking at a tab or you'll be looking at a chord chart, and there'll be things written that you're not hearing. And then you feel obligated to play it because it's in the tab. I want you to learn how to play what you hear. Because oftentimes when we play songs, I've played in many bands with many different wonderful musicians, and it's not like we always play, every guitar player, we always play everything exactly the same way because the tab said so, or, in the same spot, or, all kinds of different things. Learn to make the music make sense on your guitar in your head, right? Not just what you're seeing, but make it make sense to what you're hearing. And when it comes to chords, this is an example, for instance. You might come across a song where it says A minor 7, A minor 9, A minor add 11 or something, and you don't know all those chords. Well, that's fine if you learn them, for sure. And maybe the song really needs those, but maybe it doesn't, right? Maybe you're just learning this song because you're having some fun, like Can't You See that we looked at, and you're just trying to play and have some fun. Well, if you see an A minor 7 or an A minor 9 or an A minor add 11 or whatever it might be, or you see all these chords, you could just simplify and play an A minor chord and have some fun with it. Okay? Now, again, I'm not saying don't further your education and don't learn more. Of course you want to do all those things. But there are times in your life where you just want to play. You just want to have some fun. Okay? So if you need to simplify something to make more sense to you, or so it's something that either wasn't going to be able to be played by you and now it is, I say have fun. I say play it and enjoy yourself. And again, if further down the line you want to come back and make it a little more elaborate or a little more accurate, please do. I think that's wonderful. But don't let this become just another roadblock in your way to your success of guitar playing. Make it fit your needs of where you are as a player. So anyway, stay positive and keep practicing, and I'll talk to you soon.